Hi guys, thanks for joining me for this Yin Yoga practice. So this is a practice where we hold poses for a little bit longer. Generally it's seen as a more restorative practice, however those of you that have practiced Yin before will know that not all poses are necessarily restorative. Everyone is very different and some poses might pose some strong challenges. And so please feel free to take modifications. I will give lots of modification options throughout this practice. So please feel free to take those if you need to. And remember, we're looking to try and find a variation of each pose that we can comfortably hold. Yes, you're likely to feel some strong sensations, but definitely trying to find a variation of the pose that you can hold. So with that, we'll begin this practice. So feel free to grab any props or anything that you think you'll need. I have blocks, blanket and a bolster. You might want some cushions, and if you don't have blocks, then feel free to grab some books as they might help support throughout this practice. So we'll begin. So to begin this practice here, we're going to come into supine Baddha Konasana. So here we bring the soles of the feet together and just make our way onto our back. So slowly recline down onto your back. Soles of the feet together with the knees out wide. Now, remembering that this is our Yin practice, so we are holding this pose. If this already feels a little bit intense, then feel free to use the blocks to prop underneath the knees, and we've got different heights of the block. So just use them to prop the legs up if this feels a bit heavy at all. You could also pop a bolster underneath the knees as well. If this is particularly uncomfortable, then taking the bolster underneath the knees is also an option here. So whatever variation you found yourself, taking a moment as we settle into this practice. We'll take a little breath practice here as we bring the right hand to the belly, left hand to the heart space. And we'll take a deep inhale through the nose as we expand the breath into the belly. And down with the belly and out through the nose. A deep inhale expands the breath into the belly and up to the chest. Down with the chest, down with the belly, and out through the nose. Deep inhale, draw that breath up to the belly and up to the chest. Down with the chest, down with the belly, and out through the nose. Deep inhale draws the breath up to the belly, up to the heart space. Down with the chest, down with the belly, and out through the nose. Release the palms, face up either side of you. Just take a moment, using this pose here to anchor us into this practice. It can take a few moments, maybe even minutes, for you to really begin to find yourself here in your practice. It might be that for the first few minutes you're still in the mind, still getting caught up in distractions, the monkey mind. Just seeing if with each exhale you can allow the body to relax a little bit deeper, surrendering to the pose, feeling the subtle shifts of energy as the shoulders begin to relax down away from the ears and into the earth, as the hips begin to release and the knees make their journey towards the earth. allowing this process to unfold as you make that transition from the busyness of the day into your yoga practice. Allowing yourself to become familiar with the rhythm of your breath. Breath is often overlooked, but it's always there, consistently flowing, allowing all of the processes of the body to continue even when you're still. Take one more breath here. And gently guiding those knees back in together, hugging them into chest, beginning to rock forwards and back gently, and gently making your way up to a seat. From here we're going to come all the way into tabletop. So coming into a hands and knees position. We'll take a couple of rounds of cat-cows here. So inhale, gaze forward, belly down. And exhale, rounding through that spine, tucking the chin into chest. Inhale to take the gaze forward, send the belly down. And exhale to round. As you come back to center, encourage the knees out towards the edges of the mat. Big toes come together to touch. And then make your way down onto the earth. So taking the forehead down, relaxing the arms out in front of you, or feeling free to take it into traditional child's pose with those hands either side of the feet. This is just going to encourage a deeper stretch in the hips. So finding your expression. Also, if this feels a little bit heavy already, remembering that we're going to be here for a little while, you can always take the bolster. So if you take the bolster in between the thighs, and then just allow yourself to drape over the bolster, taking your gaze in whatever direction feels right, allowing yourself to relax onto the bolster. Another option here is to have a block underneath your head. You can use a block and pop it underneath the head here. You can also take a block or a blanket in between your heels and your glutes if you're feeling any pressure here on the ankles. Or if you're feeling anything in the front of the feet, then you can also pop your foot on top of a blanket as well. So lots of different options here for your child's pose. You're finding a position that you're comfortable with here. So a child's pose is a really powerful yoga pose. It's often used and referred to as a restorative pose. But actually, when you spend a bit of time with your balasana, your child's pose, through a yin practice or a restorative practice, and you might begin to see that actually this pose can bring a lot to the surface. Many of us have found ways to suppress our emotional body, so suppress emotions that surface. And so often these can come into our awareness through physical sensations, physical expressions in the body. It's no secret that emotions and trauma can lead to physical tensions or complications or even illnesses in the body. And so if there is strong physical sensations that are brought into your awareness, especially in a pose like child's pose with its strong energetic signature, and just allow yourself to be curious. Try and get beyond the rational mind. Just remain open to anything that resurfaces here. Sometimes I might be wrestling with a strong sensation in the hips or the thighs, and a memory might pop up. A memory that I didn't even realize I remembered, or something that I hadn't thought about for a long time. I want to allow myself to just observe this relationship between physical sensations and the thoughts or the memories. And I might feel an emotion. A student of mine came to me today and said, and we were in a posture and I was feeling something in my hips. I suddenly had this feeling that I wanted to cry. I didn't want to cry because there was other people in the class. And I said to her, just let it flow. We've taught ourselves so many ways to hide from what we feel. We've made ourselves believe that these are socially unacceptable, but we all feel. And even if we don't associate them with emotions anymore, these things build up in the body unless we find a way to let them flow through us, to let them go. A big part of our yin practice is to surrender to the pose, to let go of any resistance. And these powerful sensations or resistance that we might hold to a pose are just frequent reminders to let go. And so always looking for where you can let go. Where are you holding tension that you could just let go of? If your shoulders started to rise up the back, can you let them go? Are you clenching the thighs or the toes or the face? Could you let it go? And just see what happens when you let go. And take a last breath here. Gently come on up. We'll come back through our tabletop here. And here we're going to guide that left leg forward and right leg out to the right side. So, mark on my forehead here. So that left leg, you want a 90-degree bend in that left knee and the heel in line with the knee. And the right leg, you want the right knee in line with the right heel. And you're going to take your gaze directly over that left thigh. Take the hands beyond that left leg and just really slowly guide your way into this pose here. Now, some of you, even being upright like this, will feel really strong sensations as we're coming into that outer hip, which can hold on to lots of tension. There's not many poses that we use, or many day-to-day poses that we use that stretch this outer hip. So this can be quite a powerful one. And some of you might want to take the load off a little. So coming up a little bit higher onto your blocks or bolsters or cushions can just help, but just really slowly guiding your way and allow yourself to feel the sensations as you come in here. So let yourself feel where in the body you feel sensations that come in. So really just allow yourself to feel into the body as you make your way down into this stretch. And some of you might be able to come all the way over. Just allow yourself to relax, creating a pillow for your forehead, whether you use your hands, blocks, blankets. Notice if you're holding on to any tightness here. See if you can let it go. You start to allow yourself to relax into what we call the deer pose or 90-90 pose. Notice if you're still holding those shoulders up. See if you can let them go. Remembering that we're holding these poses. And so trying not to come into these poses with lots of tension, really trying to come into these poses with kindness and compassion. Slowly easing your way in so that you can find an expression of the pose that you can hold, you can sit with, that you can begin to feel into the body. And you can begin to observe whatever comes into your awareness here. Our Yin practice provides us with this powerful opportunity to be in stillness with ourselves. There are few things we do that require us to be still. So much wisdom is held within the stillness. If you do notice yourself being distracted, the fluctuations of the mind are calling you back. And just invite yourself back to the sensations of the stretch, continuing your release and your exploration of the pose. Connecting to your breath, that powerful anchor back to the moment. It's completely normal with these poses that the longer you spend with them, the sensations can increase as we tap into deeper layers of the body. And some of these areas of the body we may never have taken the time to tap into before. So we're stretching, supplizing the connective tissues, the muscles that support the joints. tapping into that deeply embedded tension, a deeper release. Notice the rise and fall of sensations. Last breath here. And gently come on up. Bring those hands back towards you. We will come into what we call a half frog pose here. So taking that right knee out and bringing the right foot, the right heel in towards the right glute, and then the left leg's out in front of you. Now for some of you this might be quite a strong pose, in which case we could take a half butterfly instead. So we could bring that right foot into groin here, so bring that right foot, right heel into groin instead, and come into your half butterfly. So picking a variation of this pose, either that heel into glute or heel into groin, depending on how deep a stretch you want here. And we're coming directly in between the two legs here, and see if we come directly down the middle, angle ourselves and come forward and down. And in both stretches, so whether you're in half frog pose or half butterfly pose, you'll feel this stretch, the inner line from the groin to the heel on the right leg, on the left leg. And if you're in half frog pose, you're also going to have this stretch in the inside of that right hip too. I'm bowing down here, just slowly. Again, for some of you this is going to feel like a really strong pose, and so in which case just coming on up. You don't have to force your way into the pose. Really, the pose is about coming into it with as little tension as you can, because when you beat the body with tension, it's less likely to release. Whereas when you come in more restoratively, a little bit more gently, and the body can let go more readily. So that's what we're looking for here. So just slowly making your way into the stretch here. And really giving yourself permission to feel. Let yourself feel into the body. So feel whatever's going on here. Notice any resistance. See if you can get beyond it. Last couple of breaths here. And gently coming on up. Well done. So just releasing that right leg, taking it out in front of you, giving a little wiggle if that feels good. And we'll take that half butterfly pose to the other side here. So this time you've got that right leg out in front, left leg out to the side. And again, squaring the hips. And making your way down. So you want those heels in line with knees. Making your way all the way down over that right thigh, remembering to prop yourself up if you want it. So using the props as feel appropriate here. And slowly guiding that journey in to your deer pose. So we're getting into the wisdom of the Eastern traditions to our Yin practice. That the body is a doorway. Body is a doorway to the soul, the deeper, higher self. We use physical practices like Yin to peel back the layers, peel back all the barriers, the stuff, so we can connect to those deeper parts of ourselves. Our true values. Our values will guide our purpose, and our purpose will give us meaning. We're constantly living in this state of internal conflict. There's part of us that wants to drive for more, just wants more, more, more. Also, many philosophies referred to as the ego self. And then there's part of us that craves the simplicity of life, the slow mornings, walks in nature, time playing with our children, relish a good book. So constantly in this internal battle. Material striving, inner retreating. And so practices like Yin can really help us strike a balance taking the time to slow down. Gently coming on up, guiding that journey back in. I'm up here, sending that right leg out and coming in either to your half frog or your half butterfly here. So bringing that heel in towards the glute or that heel in towards the groin. So either way, nice and lifted through the spine, coming in halfway into your half frog or half butterfly. If half frog is a bit heavy, then take the half butterfly. It's a little bit more straightforward here. So just gently guiding that journey in as you take yourself forward and down in the middle of the two legs here. So just coming directly in between, allowing yourself to straight down, remembering not to force your way anywhere. So really let this be guided by gravity. So let gravity gradually pull that upper body closer towards the earth. So slowly guiding you in here. Really subtle transition into a deeper expression of your pose. Last few breaths. And gently coming on. Make our way onto our backs here. So coming all the way down onto the earth. Hugging those knees in. We're going to take a happy baby here. So either taking the soles of the feet, maybe the ankles or the shins, maybe just holding onto the backs of the thighs here as we get into that internal hip and groin area here. Just spend a few moments with this one. Gently release the soles of down to the earth. Take a moment and guide those arms into cactus, knees over towards the left side. Possibly taking that top leg underneath the bottom for a deeper stretch. If that feels too much, then just legs stacked on top of each other is fine here. And if you want to deepen even further, then taking your gaze back behind you might also feel good here. Unraveling here. Bumping the hips over to the right, hugging those knees in and taking them over to the left. Again, you can use props to pop underneath the legs or in between the legs here if that feels good. Or taking that bind if you want a deeper stretch. And then maybe taking your gaze over to the right hand. Start to soften the gaze or close down the eyes. Gently make your way back through center. And coming into your Savasana here, so extending everything long onto your mat. Feel free to take blankets, socks, jumpers, anything that you want on to stay cozy. You come into Savasana. Ultimate act of letting go. Use the body as a tool to relax and calm, quiet the mind. And some time lingering in this space here. Continuing your release. Continue to let go and surrender with each exhale. Feel free to pause and spend longer here if you want to. Otherwise, bringing your awareness back to the body, moving fingers and toes. In a deep inhale and stretching the arms up and overhead. Exhale to hug the knees in. Maybe massage a little, rocking right and left. Making your way onto your left side, so find your yin side of the body here. Taking a quiet moment to pause, preparing yourself for your journey ahead. Using the top hand to press into the earth and guide you up to your seat. Invite your hands into prayer. I hope you can take the effects of this practice onwards and outwards with you. Namaste. Hi guys, thanks for joining me for that yin practice. I hope you feel well rested and restored to get on with whatever you've got going on for the rest of the day or evening ahead. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.